and it is the traditional ownership of the Gadigal people. We thank you for letting us sit here. We acknowledge your presence tonight, ancestors past and present. No, I don't think so. First up, we're going to go through how to vote for consensus, yes? There goes the whiteboard. How to vote for consensus. The positive and affirmation of voting for a proposal is the spirit fingers. Anyone want to show us how? Show us how to do it. That's right, sunshiny days. How to vote. Oh, sorry. The next one is to vote is to go like this.
Stand aside.
That's stand aside. Stand aside. And the other one is to, oh yes, dissent is to block, like this, like your arms in an X. Everyone okay with that? Now, in the instance where there is a block, usually what happens is that there is a workshop or another group. There's usually what? Okay. Or people usually, if you do block, you have to really explain yourself and explain why you blocked it, and we'll go from there. All right. How to roll it? Oh, rolling over. Get a move on. Somebody's saying something you really think that you've heard before, not very interesting or not very funny. What does this mean? I believe it means the cows utter, the udders of a cow or something like that. It means that you're desperate for cheese. I don't know. I don't know.
Disagreement. If you disagree with what's being
Oh,
said,
that's right, disagreement. Oh, just showing the cow udders, which means shame on the speaker, but not necessarily a block, but somewhere in the middle, yeah. Sorry about the longing for cheese, I didn't really know how to get there. Okay. First up, we need to vote for we're missing 3 people from our facilitation team tonight. We need a minutes taker. Any hands for the minutes people? Anyone who can write really quickly? Has an inspiration for it? Yes, the gentleman in the yellow shirt.
Winner. Yay.
Very good, thank you very much. We also need a timekeeper. Who has a watch? Who has a watch? Sorry, timekeeper please. Timekeeper means that you keep up time, 2 minutes per person per speaker. If a person goes over time, you ring a little bell telling them to hurry up. It's a really cool job.
really easy job.
Really easy job. Who wants to do that? Anyone who's never done it before? Oh, we've got one. Yes, someone with a mindfulness now. Is that an iPhone? Yes. Okay. The next one up is the...
Someone's hanging them around, I don't know where they go.
Ah, yes. One more thing. The speakers list. Who would like to do a speakers list? That means that you need to sit up the front here and look at whoever wants to speak. Now, people in the audience, when you want to be on the speakers list, you really need to get the attention of the the person. You just need to go, hey, I want to speak, and what I'm saying is really important. Right. We hope you enjoy this meeting tonight. Okay. Who's taking the list? Who would like to? Ah, Nissa. Yes, very nice lady in the purple shirt with the 2. They look like grapefruit, but they're not. They're juggling balls. You can't use that when you're doing the writing list. Doesn't quite work. You will need a notebook and a pen.
We have one.
You're super organized. Excellent. No one has ever asked, been able to ask me answer this question properly. But why does the chicken cross the road?
Yeah.
Why? To get to the other side. Right, Kevin. sure where I was going with that, but I asked someone yesterday and they didn't know. Because the chicken is committing suicide, right? Yeah, okay, it's not very important, but we're just waiting on a oh, we have one. Okay, excellent. Very good.
See what
Now-
they bring up.
This is my co-facilitator. What's her name?
Jane.
Now what? Consensus? What? Consensus for the facilitation team. Do we think we're hot? Awesome. We're ready to rock and roll. And you're going to be the co-facilitator. Okay. We're running a little bit behind today, so we were going to go up with some news and views, but we're going to go straight into the agenda items. Do we have consensus on that? Is that okay? Unless somebody really has some pressing news or really interesting news, like their, wife gave birth to a baby or something. Really exciting. Nothing? Has anyone blocked? No, that's consensus. Is that what I said? Don't make it fluffy here. Agenda items. First up. We're doing report backs, but we're skipping that today because we're running behind time by about 45 minutes. Unless you want to have dinner at 11. Excellent. So, the priority list, the agenda tonight. We have 3 categories. What were they? Why have they been rubbed down? No, Shirley's here. Where are the agenda, the other 3 little subheadings that we have? I see.
Saturday rally.
Okay, do we have a whiteboard marker? Can you actually get a whiteboard marker? First up, what we need to do is just prioritize the list here, because during the day people came up with some fabulous ideas to chat about tonight. And in order of preference, of which order everyone thinks is most important. Does anyone care? Yes. Yes.
Saturday?
Saturday?
Alright, we'll just go through the agenda items. Okay. First one. Okay, the proposals for Occupying Sydney to endorse the Intersex and Gender Diverse Conference on December the 2nd, the One Love Conference on December the 4th, the Equal Marriage Rally December the 3rd, the End Mandatory Detention and Refugee Rally on December the 4th. I'm looking for Occupy Sydney to endorse those, which means the promotion, I think. Is that right? And we seek only agreement from you on these behalves. Do we support these 4 groups? One by one? What a clarification. Down here? Yes?
You said that by endorsing them, we have to promote them.
Not necessarily for endorsing them. We're just, an endorsement means kind of like we have their back. We give them their blessings. And that's correct. We support their aims and principles, that's correct. Yes, point of clarification, yeah. The second one is the One Love Conference, December 4th.
Was there an individual who kind of brought these to the table?
Was there an individual who brought these to the table who might like to provide a bit of additional information to the Assembly about what these various movements or whatnot actually entail? Shelley, would you like to do that?
Hi everyone. Nori put these on the agenda last night, and we wanted We wanted these, we were actually hoping to get these rallies endorsed for last night because the meeting is tonight. Basically, the two main rallies that we're proposing to endorse is the Equal Marriage Rally on December 3rd and the End Mandatory Detention rally on December 4th. It's for the Labour Conference, and we'll go into what they're about when we get to the agenda item. The One Love Conference is about queers coming together. And the Intersex and Gender Diverse Conference is on December
OCCUPY, what does that spell? Occupy!
Tell me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Tell me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Tell me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy looks like!
Jaywalk is not what democracy looks like!
Come on, say it! Street hockey! Yeah, what he said!
That was a Liberal opposition treasurer, if nobody knew who that was.
Sorry, Shelley, we didn't mean to shout over you, but like, you only get that.
No, that was kind of worth it. I'll speak. We'll speak more about when we get to the agenda item. But basically, we were looking for, like we did with the coal seam gas rally. We were looking for Occupy Sydney to endorse these rallies that are happening in December. We were looking for endorsements for these four events. We'll speak more about them in the agenda, but they're both on very important issues. So,
Excellent. We're just reading through them, by the way. Is that all right? So the other one was the Saturday rally and the big party this Saturday. So some discussion about that. Yeah. The promoting Occupy Sydney, how to promote it here and globally. Some suggestions would be wonderful. We've got something about the War Memorial. I'm not sure who put that down.
The War Memorial's
War's a scam!
Yes, but I was thinking you were talking about that wonderful statue there that we all sit on.
Went right through in the middle.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Very
No
good.
respect for the war deed.
No respect for the war dead, right.
It is Second World War.
The fine in the Second World War. You put that on there, I'd imagine. Oh, alright, we'll get to it. Okay. Everyone chill on. You keep your pants on. Alright, future declaration and goals. Future declaration and goals, very important. Some suggestions. Security of site, the police situation, workshop times, autonomous education classes, laundry, sleeping plan and rain, sleeping plan about the rain. A sleeping plan and a sleeping plan about the rain. Excellent. And the group, there's a suggestion for a group 15-minute quiet, which I believe might be a meditation session of some kind.
Let's roll!
Let's roll. Okay.
Vote on that.
In that order? Everyone's okay? Yeah? Awesome. Any stand asides? And blocks? Blocks? No? Alright. Consensus. Awesome. The first one for Occupy Sydney to endorse are the proposals. Okay, who has anything to say about the first item of agenda? Speakers list, please. Intersex and Gender Diverse Conference on December the 2nd. One Love Conference December the 4th. Equal Marriage Rally December the 3rd, and the End Mandatory Detention Refugee Rally December the 4th as well. These two items are actually at the Labour Conference. First speaker.
I think in general there is we all have quite a strong level of support and agreement with these rallies and what they're proposing. I would suggest that as we are simply endorsing them and then moving on to talking about how our camp is run, that we don't spend too long debating the pros and cons of endorsement. I think the fact is we respect everybody's rights to speak up, and we do have solidarity with all of the people, whatever their sex, gender, sexual preference, or whether or not they were born in this country. Everybody deserves equal rights to democracy. So I just move that we endorse this as a collective now, and then move on to the issues of how we run our camp again.
So we propose assent, yes, consensus. Us? Do I have to ask? Do we have consensus like this? Oh, any stand asides, right? Yeah, I'm new to this, you know, this is my first. So any blocks? Any blocks? Any stand asides? No.
Point of clarification.
Point of clarification? Anyone?
I thought I saw one, sorry, my bad.
Then that's a consensus. The Saturday rally and the big party. Speaker number 1, man in a flannel shirt. You're gonna, Nissa, you need to write a list here. Yes, you need to come and line up next to me, don't be afraid. Next to Nissa here. Yes. Nicole, first up. All right.
I'm not very good at this summer. Okay, so I apologise if I haven't asked anyone about this first, but I only can get here pretty much at this time, so bear with me. It's about Saturday with a speaker. So today I came across an article called Economics in the Era of Crisis, written by Steve Keen, who's the Associate Professor of Economics and Finance at the University of Western Sydney. He also wrote a book called Debunking Economics, the Naked Emperor of Social Sciences. So anyway, I, on a whim, sent him an email today asking him if he might be interested in speaking to us on Saturday about the Ponzi bubble financial system and the involvement that the banks and bankers and Wall Street have had in bringing this about, this whole situation. So he replied straight away, which was great, and I quote, he said, "I'd be delighted. If the General Assembly votes for it, I'll happily give a talk on Saturday. It would be rather ironic in a way, since back in 1996 I wrote to the Reserve Bank offering to give a seminar on the possibility of a debt crisis in the near future, and they declined the invitation. So to give this talk during a debt crisis 15 years later, right outside their offices, has a nice touch to it." So I personally think that having him speak on Saturday would only add even more credibility to this movement, and due to his knowledge and expertise on the subject, I move that we include him on the speakers list.
Not this speakers list, of course. Saturdays. Yes? Consensus? Hands? Oh, wait. Sorry, there's still more people on the speakers list. Who's next?
Yeah, hi, my name's Viv. I just wanted to report back. I was part of the working group which met this morning to organise some of the stuff for Saturday. So I just want to report this back to the group, and then we can put some proposals and basically decide if we want to proceed in that way, or because there are some suggestions for speakers and that sort of thing, but we can include the proposal that was just made for the speaker in the final proposals. So basically what we were thinking in terms of a structure for the day, starting at 12 o'clock, we're thinking we'll have a bit of music, and the MUA would have the barbecue running then. So that would sort of be just as people arrive, there'd be a bit of music playing, a few sausages sizzling and that kind of thing. Then at 12:30 to 1:30, we'd have some speakers and some more performers. Then from 1:30 to 2:30, we wanted to propose to have a bit of a march, bit of a corporate scumbags tour, either around the surrounding area, go and campaign outside of a few corporate scumbags and maybe hear from people why we're targeting these particular businesses. So that would only take place for an hour, and of course, depending on the number of people that we get along, hopefully we'll have a massive number so that we can do this, but of course have to have people staying back to mind the camp. So that will go from 1:30 to 2:30, and then from 2:30 on, we'd have some more performers and music on the stage, some workshops on site if people want to have discussions and that sort of thing, and just general announcements and that sort of stuff. Now, in terms of the speakers that the working group agreed on, and again, this is up for debate and we can vote on these later on, we wanted to propose that we would have, rather than a specific speaker from Occupy Sydney, we'd want to have two people that are MCs for the entire day. And so basically what their role is to facilitate, like we have at these sort of meetings, but just make sure that the day runs smoothly and that sort of thing. And they can also, in between, give accounts of the camp and basically just report back for those that aren't occupying, the experience of what it's like and that sort of thing. Can I ask for an extension, please, just in terms of reporting back from this working group? Cheers. Okay, we're thinking of opening up with a welcome to country, of course, and we were approaching Shane Phillips for that. There was also a plan to have a union speaker, and there are a couple of different options there. In terms of the economic stuff, I mean, I think that's true what the speaker before me said. We definitely want to have someone, and the group actually proposed that Tim Anderson could speak on that. So we should have a think about that, who we would like to get to speak. Possibly we could get both on that sort of thing. We also wanted to have a speaker reflecting some of the Spanish, some of the international Occupy movement that's happening there, and the name that was put forward there was Elena. We also wanted to get someone to represent sort of the environmental movement or the anti-coal seam gas and have a speaker around the environment. And we had a couple of people there, either Jess Moore from the coal seam gas campaign or Jacinta was the other person put up there. And then finally, just in terms of the speakers proposed by the working group, was someone around welfare rights, and Marie O'Halloran was the name put forward for that one. As I said, the idea was to have a bit of a march, and we could go around Martin Place, or we could work that out. But a few of us went around and had a look earlier on, and there's at least 6 targets within Martin Place itself that we could go and campaign outside of. I mean, we've got Westpac and the Reserve Bank right here. There's Channel 7, which we could use as a target for the corporate media. There's also the US Embassy, the ANZ Bank, Commonwealth Bank, and Colonial Mutual. So people should put forward what they think in terms of having a corporate scumbags tour, but also a bit of a route. Should we just keep it to Martin Place, or should we try and go a bit further within that 1 hour and that sort of thing? So that's all. Thanks.
Great deal, Chris. Thank you very much. Next up is Tom.
Yeah, hey guys, I'm Tom. I'm a high school student. 2 things I wanted to say in relation to Saturday. First off, in terms of promoting it, like obviously our goal is to get the maximum amount of people we can. And I think if we promote it, rather than like just as a rally, as I was talking to a couple of people about promoting it as a celebration of a week of the occupation, and advertising the fact that we got food, music, as a bit of like a festival, and I think that can attract like a lot more people and a lot wider range of people. So I think that'd be a good idea. Also, I think just from talking to like a lot of other high school students and stuff, there is the potential to get like a lot more high school students than just like the 3 I think that we've got so far or whatever here. And so I think maybe on Saturday if we have some sort of youth-focused discussion or youth-focused speaker who can talk about why Occupy is important for the youth and how they can get involved, I think it's a good idea.
Good work, Tom. Most all young teenagers are playing Nintendo these days. Alright, your name? James, this is James.
Alright,
I was part of a
an
little working
Aboriginal elder was insulted 10 minutes ago by someone who called him a troll. Okay, he doesn't want to come here anymore. He doesn't want to be a part of the group anymore because one of us called him a troll. He's from this land. You don't call people from this land anything like that. That's disrespectful. It's not on. He's not going to be a part of this group because of that dickhead that called him a troll.
That sucks, man.
Always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land. Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
But also, it's one of the important things we want to do on Saturday as well as having Indigenous welcome to the rally. I think people are chasing that to make sure that happens. I was part of the working group too. So in terms of the general format, I think we should have a fairly tight limit on speakers. Have a few speakers that we organise at the start. So we only have sort of 5 or so. And when we get back, apparently there's all these bands and things that have been lined up. And I think we could, when people get back, just have a few of those performers going on, and then have an open space for people to do workshops and whatever else they want to do, as opposed to having a very, very long list of speakers. But I think the ones generally that we discussed are fine. The other thing in terms of the corporate scumbags tour, I think it'd be good to pick a government target in terms of, the obvious one that's very close is the New South Wales Parliament, in terms of connecting up the issue of cuts in New South Wales and the global economic crisis. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on these couple of days about what's happening in Greece and the savage austerity cutbacks that the government there is demanding kind of at the behest of the European Union in order to pay off the money that they spent bailing out the banks. And we've got a smaller version of that in New South Wales with what Barry O'Farrell's doing, trying to cut a few thousand public sector jobs, pushing privatisation of the ferries and so on. I think that would be another good target that we could have to kind of connect it back to some of the struggles which are the same kind of issues around austerity and whatever here. And the New South Wales Parliament is quite close. So I think that could be one of our targets on the tour. We're doing that at the end. Viv went through, I think, most of the speakers that were discussed in the working group, but maybe I can write it up if you want, so that we can read it out, vote on it if people think that's a good idea at the end.
Another speaker. Your name? Beck.
Hey, so about the rally and particularly the corporate scumbags tour, I really think that the main thing that we should be looking to get out of this is twofold. One, obviously making the 1% know that we're here and we're unimpressed. But the second thing I think is reaching enough people to be able to get them in to make the 1% really hear us. And I think the way to do that is actually to, one suggestion I had have go down to the stock exchange, which does go down to Darling Harbour. I think in doing that, there's been quite a lot of support that a lot of people have felt, randoms coming past that are interested or supportive. I just went down to the train station and there's one guy that really thinks that we're awesome and he works for City Rail. I think there's a lot of people around that have support for our message and our purpose here. And I think a good way to get them into the occupation is to go past as many people as possible. And I think, unfortunately, on the weekend, Martin Place is quite quiet besides our space in Martin Place. And it would be a good idea to get some of these people that are supportive and interested to join in with us and show a collective hatred of the 1% and what they're up to.
Thank you very much.
Oh no.
Oh, sorry, Circular Quay.
Okay, so promoting the event. The strategy I've been trying to take online is to promote that we are about to come together as a global movement and try to demand a 1% tax. And I think that we should be promoting this rally as a stepping stone to that. Keep that in mind at all times, that we're all working together to try and get something done here, because we're getting a lot of criticism that we're just organising working committees and not actually doing anything. We've come up with a demand, we've come up with something that the whole planet, all of the occupations are going to be doing at the same time. So I think that we should be keeping that in mind whenever we're talking about this, that we should be pushing that at that rally, and when we're talking about that rally and the one that's coming up. Thank you very much.
We have another, where's the speakers list? Simon.
Yeah, I mean, this rally, I'm glad actually. I've got up a few times in the past few days and said, when are we going to have a party? I'm really glad that you said last night it's going to be on Saturday, because let's make sure that's sort of part of the reason why people stick around, because it's a chance to talk to people. And my hope out of Saturday is that we will grow quite a lot. And I think if we all sort of take that on and we'll take a bit of responsibility to strike up a conversation with somebody you don't know and encourage and have a discussion about why they should join our movement, then I think this will be a really successful event. So it's not just a rally, this is part of our movement growing. So I think some of those speakers sound really good. I endorse them. There's others I could suggest, but I won't, because it'll take us forever. That's all I want to say. All right.
Thanks very much for that. Very articulate, very good. Martin. Now, is there a... Yes, but there are people... Can people who are actually speaking come over to this side over here? And I was under the understanding that this was doing... You're helping her write the speakers list? Right. Okay. You're next. Then you, Mr. Green Shirt. Maybe yourself. And yourself. Okay? Very good. How's that? I think it'll be easier if you want to speak that you make your way over to this side of the assembly and put your name down, because that way we can introduce you. Come on then. It's not going to wait for you.
Hey guys, I just wanted to say, I think we're here because the problems we're facing are very serious, very real and very deep. And if we're here to call people names, it makes us look uneducated, it makes us look like we're here because we don't know why we're here, and it makes us easy to dismiss. And like scumbag, yeah, and like calling out to Joe Hockey and leering at him. And I also think to solve these problems, we need everyone. We need both sides of politics here. But at the very least, if you can't agree with that, can you please at least agree that it's weakness to call people names? If you're armed with information, if you know what you're talking about, then you can really get to people.
Tim! Oh, hang on, that was Mr. Green Shirt. It's not Tim. Sorry, what's your name?
Very quickly, I propose, or I add an amendment to our proposal that we don't have a speaker necessarily from this collective, because it'd be very difficult trying to pick one person to represent all of us, but that we have a working group that works out a short statement on behalf of Occupy Sydney that we read out to the crowd about why we're here, clarifying our position here on behalf of all of us. I think that is important for us to clarify why we're camping, well, not camping, staying here overnight. So I propose a working group tomorrow to write that statement, and maybe we can vote on that at the end.
All right, now is Mr. Greentrip, your time has come.
I would like to suggest and to request that we don't have any violence of speech. It's important, and you'll notice Noam Chomsky and others, they never denigrate. It is important because the physical violence that is capable of being bestowed upon us, perpetrated upon us, is one factor, but verbal violence is also a factor, which leads then to physical violence. So, do we have consensus for no words of denigration or abuse? I know how the gentleman feels.
Yeah.
I would ask for a consensus on no violence in language.
Can you clarify what that means before we take votes on random things like that? Because I'm happy to call hockey a scumbag, and I will every day if I see it.
Woo! Well, I don't think that's the way you do it.
We've got a block in the crowd here. I'm not sure that was proposed as a block, really. I don't know if that was... The facilitator...
My block is this. We cannot restrict anybody's free speech, but we can provide guidelines and encourage...
Yes, but let's not...
Sorry, is that all right? I'll withdraw the block if it's not a restriction of free speech.
That's no problem. Okay. Let's not talk about whether or not such and such is a scumbag. You can use the word if you like. You probably think it or feel it in your head or your heart, wherever that is. Thank you very much for speaking. We will take that into consideration. We'll think about that. Maybe to be more considerate of that whilst you are speaking. How's that? Okay? Because we can't vote on something really like that. Because we can't control what people are going to say.
No, that's... Yeah.
All right, and people do have the freedom to say whatever they really like. Mostly. Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Green Shirt, ladies and gentlemen. Next speaker, please.
Hi. Look, following on from that. It's very hard to kind of, tell individuals what they can and cannot say in regards to people we like or don't like. So I think rather than having a consensus on that, just take into consideration the negative impact of that. Moving on from that, just quickly on the corporate, what's it called? The corporate, that one. I like it. Look, I think with that one, just my opinion again, do we have any clear agendas on what we hope to achieve with that? Because if it's just to slag the banks and whatnot, I don't know if that's going to achieve enough, because I'm pretty sure everyone knows already these guys are a bunch of pricks in the way they build their systems and the way they've created the majority-minority system that we live in. So possibly even have a workshop tomorrow about what exactly we hope to achieve. Maybe even just educating people as to what they do, as opposed to, look, maybe even the name is a bit too negative. I mean, if we step outside of this circle and try and see how other people perceive us, I don't know. That's just my opinion about it. What 1% tour? The 1% tour? Yeah. Do we have anyone blocking that? Any blocks? Yes, no? Do we have a block? Come and having a chat?
I think we've got to realise that we're not out here just because it's fun or the weather's nice and it's nice being in the sun. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't worked since Saturday because I hate the way this system is run. And if we are gonna kind of try and collifoddle around the issue, which is that the people at the top of these banks are undermining our very system of government that we hope can regulate them to make sure they don't screw us all over, I support calling it what it is. And for the people who run these banks and for the banks and the way they themselves are organised, they are scum. Like, that's not to say everyone working in the bank is scum, and that association is not made, but the way the banks operate in our society is scum, and we'll prove that to people by giving them the details and the facts on the tour. So if we don't have the facts, sure, we don't call them corporate scumbags. But if we can work out the facts in the working group and demonstrate to people that they're scumbags, let's be honest about it.
Scum is a pretty loaded term anyway.
Can I say something?
Susan!
There's no proposal.
We are not voting on anything right now, we're just going through a speakers list and then we'll vote on certain points. How's that? Is that okay? Alright.
I did have a suggestion for an alternative name, and that was the Corporate Pirates Tour, because I kind of feel like that might actually ring a bell with a few, if we're trying to encourage families to come, kids to come, you know, maybe it could mean that kids might come dressed as pirates, I don't know, but it's sort of, if they're, you know, it's still a strong term in terms of calling them pirates, because that's what they are, but it's not as strong as scumbags. Maybe it's got a bit more kind of appeal in that sense. We might be able to have a bit of fun with it, as well as it being educational as well. So, also I just wanted to report that I've just come from Unions New South Wales, and there was a motion that went up to the executive tonight about Occupy Sydney, and the resolution was quite long, that was passed at the council, so I can't read it all out word for word. I think there were a few minor changes from the motion as it was originally worded, so I think some negotiation must have happened with Mark Lennon from Unions New South Wales before it went up. But basically, in a nutshell, it noted the fact that Occupy Wall Street is a big global movement. It said that, you know, unions are about creating a better world and defending the rights of working people against, you know, the attacks that are going down on our wages, conditions, livelihoods. And what Unions New South Wales resolved to do was to spread the word about Saturday's rally to all of the unions that are affiliated to Unions New South Wales, and so that those unions can then encourage their members to come along to Saturday's rally. So it's not the most, you know, ideal. Obviously, I would have liked it if they just endorsed us and, you know, that, but I think it's actually a really positive step forward. At least we've now got the possibility that all the unions that are affiliates to Unions New South Wales are going to send the message out about the rally Saturday, and I've already spoken to one delegate from the CFMEU who's bringing delegates along on Saturday. Thanks.